Ooh, let's go back.
Aw, boo, these guys are already dead. Oh, there they come. Oh, I'm gonna get him, get out! Ben got in front of me. I was gonna snipe him. Ooh, piece of candy.
You can't be too patient and take too much time.
Whatever. It's not my fault that Ben's toilet tissue got in my face.
Quilted Northern.
I think you got your point across.
No. In this case, it's literally bounty.
Bounty doesn't make toilet tissue.
Might as well.
Did you get it, babe?
I don't know,
Yeah.
in a pinch I guess it works.
I mean, I don't need your quicker quilted picker-upper in front of my face when I'm trying to snipe, you know what I mean?
The quilted quicker reputations. Bounties. See, you have 3 things to turn in now?
4.
4? Well, let's go turn those in. Usually try and turn them in bulk.
Yeah.
Give you a better shot.
I got a couple crucible bounties I need to finish, like headshot stuff.
We can go to the reef.
Yeah, both of my exotics have come from crucible bounties. I don't think that makes a damn bit of difference, but it's not supposed to anyways. Ben wants to go to the reef.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
Looks
sorry.
like used to being ignored.
What?
What'd you say? Oh, yeah, something we need to try and do, Ben, and something I didn't even realize. Eris Morn, the hive chick at the tower,
Yep.
her bounties reset daily, not weekly. So there's a quest line that we can do for a hive weapon. That first Dark Below mission where you fight that Blade of Crota, he has a chance to drop a husk of the pit or something like that.
Yeah.
Once you get that, you just kind of go to the moon and kill hive with it to upgrade it. But then that's the hardest part of it, is you got to be rank 3 with her to buy this embalming orb, and when you upgrade it, it turns into a legendary weapon. And then you fully upgrade that, and then you got to get some kind of drop from Crota. Once you get that and upgrade it, it turns into an exotic called Necrochasm. Some guy in the Crucible had it last night. Son, it looks like the fusion rifle that she gave us, but it's an auto rifle. I think it fires fast as hell.
Is
And
it
there's all
paperclip
kinds
shooter?
of. It is a paperclip shooter, but there's a bunch of people like put videos up and stuff showing for weekly nightfalls. It kind of tears up shit for weekly nightfalls.
You look ready for battle, Warlock.
Oh, I'm not even using Ash Factory anymore.
Interesting.
That.
You
I'm
guys
using.
just hear Master O?
What do you say?
He just kept going, Oryx dead king. Oryx dead king. 3 words, 9-word bursts.
I'll give you whatever answers I can.
Like, what?
Maybe he's talking about the signal.
That should be interesting. I hope we helped you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Da da da!
Yay, multiply.
Yeah, I saw another video on what should have been with Destiny again today. Guy fighting the Fallen. And, they just start screaming, "It's the darkness," whenever they're getting shot at. Yeah, we found an AMA the other night, Ben.
Mhm.
Woo, maxed out my chess piece.
I got nothing.
It was a Bungie
I'm
employee talking about what Destiny was supposed to be versus what we got, and they got Activision hardcore.
I don't
Oh,
know
I
that
bet.
it was just that. I think a lot of it was egos and things like that. I mean, the guy said it wasn't necessarily just Activision. It was, you know, a little bit of everything. And I wonder, you know, that is what happened to our beloved Marty O'Donnell. If he just got, you know, fed up and said something.
I was watching a guy talking about all that stuff we saw, and he was talking about the story. He goes, you know, some stories can be saved with excellent voice acting. It's like, this isn't the case here. He's like, however, he goes, it does have a beautiful soundtrack. I mean, it's got Paul McCartney and Martin O'Donnell, who they fired and replaced with someone who knows how to play a single note on a tuba, aka The Dark Below.
Well, you know, we're still probably going to be hearing Marty's music for a long time in this game because a lot of this stuff I'm sure was pre-done. You know, these things are done much in advance. So I'm sure that he was given concept design and he designed the music around that with Sir Paul and Michael Salvatore. You know, that makes me wonder though, like, Michael Salvatore's done all this work with him all these years. Is he still at Bungie? Because they didn't say anything about him.
I think he is.
I look forward to seeing what Marty's doing with, gosh, I can't ever pronounce his last name, Jamie. He was with Bungie from the, you know, really early time as well.
Yeah.
And Highwire Games. Yeah, I'm interested to see what they have to produce, because they kind of like that game company. They believe that it, you know, smaller production studios can do just as well, and they don't want to have that big mentality where, you know, you kind of get too big for your own britches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they've got to bring to the table. I'm excited. You know, I know I only got to talk to him for a few minutes at E3, but that was pretty cool.
It's just upsetting hearing what Destiny could have been, you know?
And then, well, I mean, they said in that AMA that it was like they were afraid that, you know, people wouldn't go for the MMO type game. And I'm thinking,
what it was originally supposed to be was a full-fledged MMO. Like, the opening cinematic we have of how we, like, were brought to life and all that. They said each race that's how it was supposed to happen, was they're being revived, essentially. But the actual cutscene and where we started was all, like, yeah, it was all, that was the EXO starting point.
Yeah, what we got was a cobbled version of the EXO startup. You know, we're all supposed to be long dead and what have you, but pretty sure that the way I understood it, they were supposed to have more backstory. It kind of fleshed out, like, what you were, where you came from, why
the
you're that
Awoken were
specific
supposed
race.
to have a big Queen story arc.
I mean, I don't know why they were
it just makes it make less sense, because you go in as Awoken and into the Reef, and they keep calling you outsider, and you're like, how the fuck am I an outsider? I'm fucking Awoken.
Yeah.
Well,
How
that's
could I be
what the
Awoken
guy
if I
was saying
wasn't
in
from
the
the Reef?
AMA too. He was like, they cut so much stuff out that there's still stuff in the game that doesn't make sense because they cut out some of the original plans.
Well, I mean, you could see that, like, from the beginning, though. There's so many empty spaces and so many things that aren't fleshed out. Like, the big door over there by the speaker, and then you've got that whole area in the back of the tower that is open for the Iron Banner, but what about the rest of that space back there? Right. And then we've got all these doors over here, and there's empty space down below where the Vanguard leaders are. They were showing, we watched a video of the tower on Mercury, the lighthouse, and these guys walking around in it, and there was so many empty spaces. Like, there was supposed to be vendors there, like there were supposed to be things going on. Not only that, but there's supposed to be a trade system between players. You know, so many things that would be typical of an MMO, whether or not it was truly an MMO. I mean, Destiny's kind of its own breed of thing, and I think it would have been anyway, even if they had gone with a bigger approach. They, you know, what this guy said was he was just afraid, or they were just afraid that people wouldn't garner to it because it was something on a console. And I'm thinking, this is what people wanted. That's why they were so excited about it.
See, if Activision... If Activision had justified it in a way that where Bungie had these big dreams to make this big thing at launch that just wouldn't give Activision the returns that they needed, and so they wanted to spread it out over more expansions to kind of grind the money out of it so that they could not so that they could just make as much money as they possibly could, but just to make it profitable, you know what I mean? That would kind of make sense. But that's not what they've done, because they've taken out so much story here.
Yeah.
Just in the base game that some things just don't make sense.
Well, I mean,
it's probably because they're afraid that people on a console just won't get it, and they won't gravitate to it.
But that was like what the hype was all about. It was going to be open world. You could go and do whatever you want. It was a space epic.
And look how many people played Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it though from the perspective of how many pre-orders there were, how many people came to those launches.
Oh yeah, it was the largest new IP launch of all time.
Yeah, I mean, they made back pretty much what they put into the game in the first week.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you spent $500 million on this game alone. Why didn't you give it a chance to be what it could have been from the beginning?
Well, one thing, I was reading an article today, which kind of leads me to believe Activision had a hand in it too, was like with Halo, how the rings, like in the first game, that was like the main weapon you were trying to stop. It was almost like, I mean, the rings weren't the main villain, it was the Covenant, but they were kind of the bad guys, I guess. The rings were the evil thing you were trying to stop.
Well, you were trying to stop the Covenant from activating it, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess as time went on, those rings became symbolic of Halo, and it was used in all the advertisements. You saw Halo, you saw the rings.
Right. That's because what it was called.
Yeah. The original story for Destiny was supposed to be, you know, the Crow. The Guardians were supposed to be abducted by the Crow and taken somewhere else. And you're supposed to find out that the Traveler brought the darkness with him. And I saw a concept, they had a little concept image. It was the Black Garden. But the Black Garden was inside the Traveler, and that was the final mission of the campaign, was destroying the Traveler from inside.
Oh,
that's where the Black Garden was. But it said the publishers, once they put that image out, that's what they wanted to do, like with Halo. They wanted how those rings to be associated with Halo. They wanted the Traveler to be associated with Destiny, so they wanted to keep that feel-good imagery.
Well, see,
but the Halo rings were never the Halo rings were never the feel-good imagery. The Halo rings were like it symbolized the purpose in Halo.
Yeah.
This overarching doom that was always
present.
Impending. And so the Traveler still could have been that symbol. And in a sense, it would have been more of a symbol because of, you know, what would have happened. And because now the Traveler just kind of sits there when you're at the tower. That's all the Traveler is.
If they had gone forward, he would have turned into kind of a dichotomy, almost, you know what I mean?
I mean, who knows? Maybe by the time Destiny 2 rolls around.
They'll have it fixed.
So, I mean, the changes that they're making with Taken King, they're moving more towards what the original vision was.
Yeah. And they said they've been reading Reddit, they've been reading the forums, they've been listening to people, they're trying to do more of what they want. It still baffles me though. They had this great plan and all these things that we saw in the videos at E3 when the game was first announced. Now granted, I'm sure that was alpha footage, but everything was different. Like you were actually picking up
really were supposed to be
legendary
able to hop in your Sparrow and go.
Yeah. But then when what's his face?
Joe, when he left.
Because he was one of the main writers. Everything changed after that is what I'm of course it's all speculation. We'll never know because all of this stuff is wrapped up in so much legal red tape it's not even funny.
Well, I mean, and it could be simply the fact that it could simply be to the fact that Bungie maybe couldn't deliver on those promises, and Activision is just saying, "Hey, let us be the big bad wolf here and blame it all on it."
Maybe.
So that people can have hope for future releases. I mean, maybe. I mean, that's conspiratorial and crazy, but I mean, it's a possibility.